Hi, and welcome to this webinar on using Profit Progress. What you can see here on the screen, I've double-clicked the Profit Progress icon and the login window has come up. I've picked Super. Super User gives me access to every feature available and put in the appropriate password. So the system has authenticated my password, and as such, it's given me access to everything from report designers, DIY graphs, report templates, and so on. Some key features of the Profit menu system. As you select different options, you'll see that the icons within the selection window change. The first thing that you should know about Progress is we've all experienced ERP systems and other business systems with hundreds of reports or templates or formats that you are to use. And to make it easy for you to find the ones that you want, we attach icons of the graph that you're going to get. So if I want to run a graph that looks a bit like this, I can see it's likely to be one of these. So hopefully you find the nomenclature at the bottom tells you that this is an OEE graph by day or an OEE graph by week, so the text also helps you with that, but the icons should be a memory jog for when you're looking for a particular report. These along the left hand side, there's navigation buttons. As I select aggregate reports, for example, it gives me the list of all aggregate reports being where you select, say, 10 different machines. It will aggregate the totals. So I won't get one report per machine. I'll get one report for all machines. If I want to see each machine separately, I click on line by line and I'll get one page per machine. Some other important elements to note. We have data in this database from 2011 up to July 2017. If I want to navigate through this and say I want to pick out some data from 2015, just by way of example, I could go and pick from Monday the 1st of July through to 1st of June, say to 30th of June will do. If I want to select a particular factory, I click on the name of the factory and that will select those, or if I double click again, it will unselect there. I've got all these lines here in the Hastings factory. It's unselected those. If I wanted to pick all can lines, I double click on that. And this happens to be set up for a business that has multiple can and end making lines. But obviously you may be in car manufacturing or you may be in chemicals or food processing, whatever your industry is. The navigation system allows you to select site, clear all, select a site name, etc. So here, maybe I'll just select all of Milpera, and if I want to, I can unselect individual sites as well. So once I've selected my site and I have my date range that I want to look at, I can start interrogating reports. I can change these at any time. So if I wanted to get a line-by-line report, let's say for Pareto graphs for the month of June, I've selected the Pareto graphs of downtime. I could select Pareto graphs of lost time. But if I just want to select Pareto graphs of downtime, I select the right icon. I've already chosen from the line-by-line options. So in that context, I have selected the right graph. I double click on it. I get a bit of an enlarged image down there, what it will look like, and here is the final results. So here I've got, there's two sets of data here. I have the categories in a Pareto sense by hours. Slow running, the code PE01 accounts for 15.8 hours over the sample, and there's a frequency of 56. There's been 56 occurrences in the time period, 1st to the 30th for the machine M1. The next one is seamless. The CN69 is 7.1 hours and 34 occurrences, and so on all the way down to tester with 1.1 hours for occurrences, with a total of 46.7 hours of downtime on 195 occurrences. Here's a graph of the same details. We graph two things. A solid green line shows the hours on the bottom graph, and the top graph shows the frequency. And the reason why we're showing the frequency is it's been our experience that the business needs to keep an eye on the hours, that you're focusing on the highest business impact. But if you want to win the hearts and minds of your operators, you must fix the high frequency issues. Nothing kills morale quicker than having machines continually stopping for the same reasons. If you don't resolve those issues, even if they're not perhaps the largest time implemented, they just kill morale. A single stop per month that takes 10 hours If I compare that to the psychological impact of a stoppage that occurs 3 times a day, perhaps 100 times a month, and only has half that amount of hours application, the disengagement caused by high frequency problems that we don't resolve is palpable in the plant and will result in a lack of engagement. So we show you both, so you get to choose how important that is for you. With all of our reports, we have framing information. So up the top here, I have the number of available hours, which is 720 hours was available. That's a calendar hours that's expired between the 1st of the 6th and the 30th of the 6th. We have 217 scheduled hours. That is the hours that we expected to run. We have a production total of 2.2 million. We have an OEE of 71%, and the target OEE was 66%. Our runtime at rated speed, or if you like, the fastest this could theoretically have been done was 155 hours. We scheduled 217 hours. Of the lost time, 51 hours was in downtime, 8 hours was in make ready, no time spent making product that was wasted, slow running attributed 3.1 hours, and unallocated hours is minus 0.7. And so when we do a time balance, we're a little bit over there. We can't account for, we're over allocated the time by 0.7 of an hour. But basically, that's a measure of whether our recording is about right. So that low number makes me confident with these numbers. I go to the next page and I have M2 and M3, C1 and so on. So all the different machines in the factory. I could, if I wanted, I could mail this. I could send it to a PDF. I can drop it into Excel. I can create an image file and so on. If I wanted to get that same data set, I don't need to change the date or the lines. I just go to the aggregate, and that will give me this one graph for all lines. So this is now the aggregate of all the lines selected. I can see which lines are selected down here. The lines included the canned food, cans, coating, coil, and decoration lines. And here the sum of my total hours is 164.9 hours of downtime. And my metrics have all changed to show the contribution from all of those machines. And the biggest issue here is slow running, 71.9 hours and 189 recorded occurrences of slow running. Slow running is for us is when the machine is running at a slower speed than it was designed to run at. So for reasons that we haven't captured, that aren't displayed here, the machine has been set to run or chosen to run at a slower than design speed. If I wanted to see what the OEE per day was, this line, the blue, shows me the trend. This is each of the days from the 1st of the 6th through to the 30th of the 6th in the period. The green shows me the OEE. The average ends up being about 45%, it looks like. 48%, I'm sorry. And I can see day on day it varies up to about 58% or even 60%. And we get some as low as 27 or 25%. The Prophit has features like run charts, where this is dynamically of the machine selected. You would typically run this on an overhead projector or on an overhead LCD display. These are heavily configurable, what we show, but in this example, it's showing metrics for the year to date, month to date, and week to date in the graphs over here. It shows you how you're tracking and whether this week is a good or a bad week, and this month is a good or a bad month compared to the year. And we're showing trend lines. As this cycles through on each machine, it gives you a sense of how individual machines run. This is for a factory where you might have a notice board where you're showing the whole plant in one place, and you can have multiple logins where you can have these same displays at the machine just for that machine, or the group of machines in that area. Data entry is fundamental to progress. We need to get the data in order to be able to create the reports that it takes to show you where your time hierarchy is, where your time's going, where your OEE is, what your availability, performance, and quality breakdowns from your OEE are, and so on. And in order to be able to get this data and then break it down into Pareto graphs of downtime and lost time and waste and so on, we must have data entry. The data entry layouts are incredibly malleable. I'm just going to pick back in the date range we were just looking at, 2015, June 1st. I think I noticed there was an M1. I'll pick a day shift. And unfortunately, there wasn't any there. Okay, on M2, M2 just ran one line during the day. This is a historic, obviously. I've gone back into the past. The efficiency was 64%. They produced 45,000 units. They ran for 8 hours. They had downtime of 311 minutes, so a massive amount of downtime. They had no waste recorded. So on the work order 658, etc., the item that they ran was FS70152, which is a 52162 can. Looks like it's a Mortine can. The various pallets and ends. The start time was at 6 a.m. They finished at 2 p.m. They ran for 8 hours. And all of this stuff was automatically entered by the system and updated. They ran at 270 cans a minute. And down here are all of the different stoppages that they had. So they had at 6:05, they had an 8-minute stop for fallen cans at the palletizer. Then they were down for a power problem for 3 hours. At 7 o'clock, they had 40 minutes at the welder. They had 20 minutes of can leaking at the welder. They had 5-minute welder jams. They had a mill break at 10:10. More welder problems. So we can see welder problems were prolific. And there was a power problem for 3 hours on PM09. So this is a chronology of what actually happened. And what happens in live, I'm not going to do a live system, but if a stoppage came up, we would have an unspecified stoppage here if this was today's data, at 9:13 p.m. on my clock here, I would have 9:13 p.m. came up, and the duration would allocate, and at my time this would go red, telling me I need to assign a reason. And when I can get to it, I can go and select the category, assign it, select any downtime details that I need to know about, and any comments that need to go with the downtime for further analysis at a later stage. This window has the benefit of allowing all the data, production, waste, and downtime to be trapped and recorded in one page. Some people, particularly with touch screens, prefer production to be on one screen, downtime to be on another, waste on another. That's a perfectly valid way of doing it, and having different windows open for those different functions. And then you can have a summary overview window as well. However you want to arrange it, the data entry screens are incredibly configurable. The process expects you to capture the data in meaningful ways for that machine or that area or that workstation within the line. That's probably all I want to cover off for now. I just want to give you a sense on if you want to find out what your data is, whether it's graphical or whether it's tabular, or whether you just want to do some ad hoc features. You can come in at any stage, get the data that you need. So if I just pull it in a smaller data, and that's not going to work for me. So that one will. If I just want to get a rundown list for shift downtime and waste on a shift-by-shift basis, so I could use that to facilitate my shift handovers. I can see line by line what shift I'm on, how many hours were run, what the production was, what the causes of the downtime were, what the causes of waste were, and that can fill my shift handovers. All of these reports are configurable. They'll end up with your logos on it, and the base reports are available for modification through the report designers. We can grab any of those templates and modify them, which we do during implementation to meet your reporting requirements, so that your daily production reviews, your shift handovers, daily production reviews, weekly improvement meetings, and monthly management meetings are all sourced from the same data source, and that your factory displays and run charts are all using consistent metrics, and they mean something to your business. I hope that's informative. I look forward to, if you have further details, please contact me directly, and I look forward to answering your questions as they arrive. Bye for now.